Welcome back, friends, and this is my second attempt at making a video that makes sense about the subject of demons and devils. So, if you want to know the difference between those two, obviously you could look up the definition, but it's important that you understand what those definitions mean in the context of practicing magic. So, the questions I'm getting are like, so how do you just contact Satan and just call his ass up and talk to him and make him your friend? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, friends, but the name Satan literally means the adversary. He's an adversarial guy, spirit, God, whatever you want to call him. He has a lot of pull in his spiritual dimension, but it wouldn't be him that I called first. Now, in my case, it just happens that he was the first one I called because it was one of the first names I had ever heard that was associated with these demons that I would see, and I didn't know what to call them. And then, of course, over the course of going to Sunday school, I started to learn a little bit about demons and what they were, and came to the conclusion that that's what was visiting me. So now that I've gotten older, I can understand why I saw what I saw and what they exactly were. And I believe that the ones that I have encountered were Goetia spirits and not devils. So if we want to get really serious about this, we have to basically buy this book first, and then you need to look at some definitions. But I'm going to do the work for you because that's just the kind of guy I am. So the question is, what's the difference between a demon and a devil? Well, let me give you a little quick rundown about the many various names in every culture that all refer to the same entity, which is the entity we know as Satan. Sabazios, Phrygian, the snake, serpent worship. Samael, unknown origin. It is thought this angel of death was the demon who tempted Eve, also the prince of air. This is merely another name for Satan. Samnu, Asian, devil. Satan. Shaitan. Shaitan. That's my favorite name for Satan. Shaitan, Arabic, Satan, Hebrew. The adversary, Lord of Fire, fire elemental. Sargetanus, Brigadier of Hell. Sadit, American Indian devil. Sekhmet, Egyptian goddess of vengeance. And the list goes on and on. Set, Egyptian for devil. Shiva, the destroyer. So, I don't know if you guys can see this clearly or not, but the point is this. A daemon is essentially this. The word daemon and the word demon are basically the same thing. The word demon is a spin-off of the word daemon, and the word daemon is a very, very interesting word because this word actually means an entity that is wise and replete with knowledge and a helper. So I find it so strange that suddenly, over time, daemon became demon, and then demon became more an association with devils. A demon is just like the ancient gods, and that's why we should probably not call them demons, but just call them ancient gods, because demon, daemon, all of that now is associated with very evil entities. The difference between a demon, a god, and a devil is this. A devil is something that is completely 100% evil and malevolent. Satan in the Christian role fits this perfectly. So you have to ask yourself, why would you even want to call up such an entity? Now, I will say this. Every single spirit that was, based on the Christian myth, or is now a demon, once was an angel. And that's very important to remember, because one of the things you're going to experience when you experience the archangels and then you experience the Goetic spirits right behind them is just how similar they are in just their energy and their feeling and everything. There's just something about them that really does show you that they're part of the same family, yet very, very different. Different in their attributes and different in their style of how they just go about doing business. So, advice number one, don't start with Satan. Just leave him on the side. You can make a relationship with him and Lucifer later after you've worked with the lesser spirits. So I don't know why people have such a tendency to jump straight to the kings. The Goetia has a lot more to offer in way of other spirits, because you have to remember, it's 70 plus spirits in the Goetia, but each one of those spirits has legions of their own spirits. Some of these spirits are malevolent and extremely evil, and they are basically warriors who are part of their army that are around to do said business. So if, let's say you're Lucifer Drofakel and you want to go send some spiritual warriors to attack someone, that's basically what's going to show up, is those types of devils. The term devil, to me, is more associated with the jinn or genie spirits. A good friend of mine owns a book. It is an old copy of the Quran, I believe. There are 2 jinn spirits attached to that book. These 2 spirits are definitely what you would consider to be devils, meaning that their whole role, what they like to do and what they're programmed to do and what they do well, is destroy things, people, places, and things. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you have any spiritual authority at all, devils can be controlled and used and sent to go attack someone. I'm pretty sure I've had spirits that were sent to attack me that I basically just said, turned them around and sent them right back to their enemy. And especially with Archangel Michael attached to me all the time, it makes it very hard for someone to fuck with me with him literally attached to me. And that's why I keep him around, because you never know when some said spirit just decides, I want to fucking pick on someone today that practices magic. There are parasites out there that suck our energy. They are devils. They are unintelligent, purely evil devils. And it has nothing to do with the spirits in this book. Devils are something of their own. I think S. Ben Kayan's book, The Book of Smokeless Fire, is a great introduction to what I would call working with devils. The genie spirits are very devilish. So there's so much more chaotic and dark and carefree, as where the Goetic spirits are more like spiritual philosophers that have these additional powers. And they just happen to be on the dark side. So that is my, I guess you could say, definition for those 2 things. And it's very important to know that all the other races of spirits are all in their own legion. So I'm not talking about fairies. I'm not talking about elementals. There are elemental spirits that are very devilish, but they are not devils. I'm talking about an actual race of spirits that's separate from demons that we refer to now as devils. So I have a book on familiar spirits, on how to make familiar spirits, and it's basically how to make out of your own energy, using body fluid like sexual body fluid and blood, and planetary influences, and over time you can create your own familiar spirit that can go out and do these devilish things, like go out and drain someone's energy, go out and give somebody nightmares when they sleep. You can program and make your own devil. Devils to me are more low spirits who are designed to feed on high vibrational beings. So if you are a spirit and a being of light, those entities are drawn to you, incredibly drawn, because they just see the light and they want to go straight for it so they can suck it and take it away from you. And at any given time, without having your own wards put up around you and your own spiritual defenses up, if you don't have them up, you will start getting attacked by these lower spirits. This is why, if you're doing the demonolatry version of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, you just draw those pentagrams upside down and you just put a demon in each one of those corners instead of an angel. It's really easy. And make sure it's the demons that you trust and that you feel you resonate most with. Boom, you got some protection there. Always go on the side of protection and safety, as crazy as that sounds in magic, because you need to be prepared for anything to happen when you're doing these rituals. So just a little tip du jour about demons and devils. And as far as making pacts and making deals with a devil, you really can't. You can bind a devil and you can command it to do something, but you're not going to have an intelligent conversation with a creature who's basically just here to destroy life. That's the best I can do. I think S. Connolly did a great job in her book of explaining this more thoroughly. I recommend you revisit this book and read all of her books, actually, because, they're going to be rare and out of print at some point. I would start collecting them now. Most of them are still available on paperback on Amazon, but I'm noticing that she's slowing down on her occult works, so I would get in there and get them while you can. And dark blessings. Thank you, S. Connolly. Thank you, everybody else. And Merry Christmas.